Hello, this is Paula Rose. In this video, I'm going to show you the basics of drawing in two-point perspective. A little bit of history before though. Before the discovery of perspective drawing, artists' renderings of people, buildings, and so on was relatively flat and didn't really look like the real world. Here's an example of a painting, Paradise, created by Giovanni di Paolo, that didn't use perspective. During the Renaissance, however, artists like Raphael and Masaccio, in this painting called The Tribute, experimented with ways to create the illusion of space in their drawings. They came up with a mathematical system of using lines, the horizon line, converging lines, vertical lines, and vanishing points to create depth on their canvases. This is known as linear perspective, and artists, like Hopper in this painting entitled House by the Railroad, still use this system today. I'll be showing you step by step how to create a floating city similar to the images you're seeing now. Your finished artwork will be an ink drawing, and you'll be adding color with watercolor pencils. Before we get started, make sure you have these tools available: an 18 by 24 inch piece of colored paper, a 9 by 12 inch piece of drawing paper, watercolor paper in the same size, transfer paper, pencil, a ruler, tape, and a permanent black marker. You may also need an eraser, and later on we'll be adding color with watercolor pencils and a brush. In this demonstration, I'll be using markers so you can see what I'm drawing, but I want you to use a pencil and draw lightly. Later, you'll be outlining everything in black ink. Okay, let's get started. Place your 9 by 12 piece of paper in landscape orientation towards the bottom center of your larger color paper. Tape it into place so it won't shift while you draw. Next, at the left side of your 9 by 12 paper, take your ruler and measure from the bottom up about 5 inches. Measure about 5 inches again on the right edge. And use your marker and your ruler to draw a horizontal line across the paper and all the way across to each edge of the larger paper. This is your horizon line, or HL. Once your horizon line is drawn, it's time to put in the vanishing points. The first object we'll draw is the platform. This will give the drawing an anchor point. Below the horizon line, near the center of the paper, draw a vertical line that measures about 1 inch. This is the corner of the platform. Make a small dot at the top and the bottom of the line. Place 2 more vanishing points on the horizon line, about 2 inches in from each edge of your paper. With your ruler, connect the left vanishing point to the dot at the bottom of the 1 inch line. Draw a converging line that connects them. Connect the dot at the top of the 1 inch line with the same vanishing point and draw a second converging line. Repeat on the right side to complete the platform. Now we'll draw a pole intersecting the platform. Near the center of your paper, draw a vertical line 1 to 2 inches from the top of your paper to the top of the platform. To show the pole under the platform, keep your ruler lined up with the vertical line and begin drawing a vertical line under the bottom edge of the platform. Move your ruler over about 1 inch and repeat the same steps for the right side of the pole. Finally, draw curved lines to connect the 2 vertical lines, at the top, at the bottom, and where it meets the platform. Next step is to start drawing the buildings of the city. We'll start off drawing the corner of the first building. Above the horizon line, draw a vertical line about 2 inches long to the left of the pole and above the platform. Put 2 small dots at the top and bottom of the line. Then place your ruler on the top dot and down to the right vanishing point on the colored paper. Draw a converging line. Do the same for the bottom of the vertical line. Repeat these steps, but connect the dots to the vanishing point on the left side of the colored paper. Draw the corner of a second building, this time to the right of the pole and above the platform. Draw the converging lines like you did for the first building, connecting the dots to the vanishing points on both sides. Draw the corner of the third building and the converging lines. Now we need to close off the sides of the building by drawing vertical lines between the two converging lines. Let's start with the gold building first. Line up your ruler with the corner, slide it over to the right where you want your building to end, and draw a vertical line between the two gold converging lines. Do the same for the left side of the building. Since I'm using marker, I'll go ahead and outline the entire building in black. And so you can see the final shape more easily, I'll color in the building with my gold marker. You may want to shade yours in with your pencil. Because the building is resting on the platform, you will not be able to see the bottom of the building, so you don't have to draw that. I'll show you how to do that for the next two buildings. Notice my building now looks like it is in front of the pole. Go ahead and finish off the other two buildings by drawing vertical lines between the converging lines on each side of their corner. Decide if the buildings will be in front or in back of the others and shade them in. Since these last two buildings are above the platform and the horizon line, you need to draw the bottom of the building. To do this, place your ruler at the bottom of the far side of the building. Adjust it down to the opposite vanishing point and draw a converging line. Do the same for the other side of the building, remembering to draw your converging line to the opposite vanishing point. My pink and blue buildings here are behind the gold one, so only a portion of the bottom shows. Now I'll shade in the bottoms of the buildings and the platform so that you can easily see what objects sit behind, in front, or on top of each other. Next, I'll add in a few more objects below the horizon line. I'll start by using a circle template and then use the same techniques of drawing converging lines to the vanishing points. For a circle, since there are no corners, line up your ruler with the top of the circle and the vanishing point, and then the bottom of the circle and the vanishing point. Use your circle template to close off the cylinder. If you don't have a template, just go ahead and free draw it. Add another building below the horizon line by first drawing the corner, then the converging lines, and closing it off with vertical lines. Since this building sits below the horizon line, the top of it will show. Line up your ruler with the top of the right side and the opposite vanishing point and draw a converging line. Then draw another converging line from the top of the left side, again to the opposite vanishing point. Okay, now comes the easy part, transferring the two-point perspective sketch to the final watercolor paper. This is transfer paper, which has graphite on one side of it. Tape the transfer paper with the darker graphite side facing down onto the watercolor paper. Tape them both down to the larger colored paper. Make sure they're taped down securely. You don't want anything shifting as you work. Then tape your sketch on top of the transfer paper. Using a very sharp pencil or a pen, Retrace all of your buildings, the platform, the pole, and the cylinder. You may trace the horizon line or not, it's up to you. Make sure you're pressing down firmly and use your ruler so you'll have nice sharp edges and straight lines. Once your lines have been traced, untape your paper, leaving the watercolor paper with the trace drawing. Go back over all the lines using a permanent black marker, making sure you use your ruler. This is time consuming, but your finished artwork will be clean and free from eraser marks and smudges, so it's well worth the effort. To make your shapes look more like buildings, add some cutouts, doors, archways, windows. Use the same techniques I showed you for drawing the buildings. You're essentially drawing shapes within shapes. Once you're done with the cutouts, add shading by cross-hatching, stippling, or filling in solid. The final step is to add color to the drawing. Use watercolor pencils to shade in the areas. Layer the colors. Finally, use a brush and water to blend the colors for a watercolor effect. If the colors bleed into each other, that's great. Watercolor is supposed to do that. Okay, we're all finished. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to draw in two-point perspective. Perspective helps add dimension to your artwork. The more you practice, the better and faster you'll get.